Some of my favorite movies, The Green Mile.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me see. Okay, Star Words About Time, Crazy Green Mile.
See, this is why you're here. The Green Mile.
I only recently realized.
Green Mile.
Great, this is
It's good. The Green Mile. The Green Mile. The Green Mile is one of your favorite movies. Hey, lady, come over and we'll pop some popcorn. Let's have a strawberry margarita. Watch The Green Mile with my cat. The Green Mile.
You really hung up on that.
Trixie Mattel screaming about the Green Mile, too iconic to not start this episode off with, because I'm not going to try to do one of the quotes from this movie.
I was going to say, I don't think it falls into a category that's
absolutely not okay for me to be doing.
Exactly.
But, oh, hi, welcome to the swamp. It's like the word swamp, but spelt the same, but in all caps because it's an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And we're doing Stephen King month, which I feel like on the whole, maybe kind of like politically ill-timed. He's been like being kind of shitty, like on X the Everything app, and has expressed some political views as of late that I'm just like, can we back it up? Can we back it up? So
I was going to say, we're in this timeline now where, and I always think of this tweet that goes back to, like saying like, what is it? I think it's really cool that the left has their own Mel Gibson, basically, which is in reference to which is in reference to Sean Penn. But at the same time, I do feel like there's a handful of people that fall under that, and I think Stephen King is one of them.
wait, was that somebody said that recently because of One Battle After Another, or was this like an old thing? Because I know Sean Penn isn't a character in and of himself.
Exactly. No, I think it was
and has been
from a little bit older, maybe. But it was something about him talking about having melted down, like given his Oscars and just accolade trophies to Zelensky and saying, "Here, melt them down and use them as bullets against the Russians."
I'm recalling that now. Yeah, that was him. That is so unhinged. Do we think he'll get another one for his performance?
Honestly, I think he'll get a nom. Absolutely.
To me, if we want to take a quick break before we get into the Green Mile, before we walk the Green Mile together, we can do modern film corner.
Please.
I'm thinking it'll definitely get Oscar noms. I think it's going to be this year's, like, the Academy being like, we're so woke.
Yeah,
like, ooh, look at us. We're so woke. Like, literally all of you are like fucking shitty billionaire Zionists. But you're like, ooh, a pat on the back because we're recognizing Sean Penn's performance.
No,
ooh,
they're going to go,
what I mean?
They're going to go 10 toes down on it, I believe. Absolutely. I do wonder if Leonardo will get another Oscar nom. I'm guessing probably. But it's like you said, it's just them being so hypocritical, especially like Leonardo DiCaprio is like planning to build Jeff Bezos's like what is it? Like
it's hotel in Tel Aviv.
In Tel Aviv, yes. So I'm like, we cannot neglect.
You're such a woke fucking movie. Yeah, go fuck yourself. No, honestly, I feel like they're revving this whole award season up. It's gonna be Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, and it's gonna be Leo, and it's like Timmy's the new Leo, and like, what is we're gonna put the two of them side by side to show actors.
I'm firstly very excited about Marty Supreme. We're recording this on October 7th, and there's a lot of buzz coming out today from I don't know where it showed.
Yeah, there was like a pre-screening.
And it's getting a lot of buzz already, like career-defining performance for Timothée Chalamet, of course. He's talking about how he's playing ping pong back in 2018 to prepare for this shit. It's crazy. But I'm really excited for it.
They said that same thing about Bob Dylan, though, and that movie was corny.
Oh, I believe it, but I think he's a man that preps.
Yeah, so I am excited to see that one, actually. I wouldn't mind a big Timmy Leo Oscar season narrative. Whatever.
Well, I would love to see
cake.
Timmy get his win, obviously. I think Leonardo DiCaprio, which this might be a hot take, I think he's fine in this. I was not wowed. I think it's
yeah.
I think about
almost any actor could have probably done it.
I think it's
like
about a half
middle-aged white guy.
It's literally a half step away from his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood character. It did not feel like a huge jump for me. Yeah, he kind of feels always the same for me. Pretty one note, but that's just my take. I was wowed by everyone else's performances.
Well, you know what performances wowed me
Please.
were those of almost everyone in the Green Mile. I thought was really serving it up. I guess I could say one-dimensional a little bit on Tom Hanks, but I always feel that way about him. He's supposed to be like the everyman, and he's this like Christ-like embodiment of good. And like, has he ever really played villains? I'm like looking at this big tier list you made.
Yeah,
like he's always so wholesome.
Mm-hmm. No, not that I've seen. He's your grandpa, no matter how old he is.
But there's something sinister about Tom Hanks as like an actual guy to me, because he raised Chet, and like
I don't think Chet has.
Do you think Chet is just a product of his time?
I think he's a product of his time. I don't think that Tom is to really be too faulted here. I think, how many kids does he have? It's at like 3 boys, right? Or something like that.
A few.
I think if you have more than 2, you're bound to get a wonky one. You know, and even with 2, you're probably going to get a wonky one. You know, I think Chet is his own man. I think that I think
Tom is not to blame.
I see
he's blameless in all of this.
I can not blameless, but I see a past where Tom really tried to intervene and set Chet down a path, and then eventually threw his hands up and said, "This kid's gonna do whatever he wants."
This is not the same in any way, but I have like a personal Nepo baby that I just like, I cannot stand, and it's Guy Fieri's son. Guy Fieri is always putting his fuck-ass son. His name is Hunter, and they're always like, and let's go, and he does like sports commentary, but for the Food Channel. It's like, let's go over and see what's going on with Hunter, and he has no stage presence, he has no charisma.
He's just a guy.
I'm like, you don't have to be on the Food Network just because you're Guy Fieri's son. You can just be a quiet Nepo baby.
Oh my God,
we respect the quiet Nepo babies.
He looks like a mix of Adrian Brody and that really shitty, bad, and racist comedian. Oh God, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but anyone that sees like what this man looks like.
But okay, The Green Mile.
Yeah.
So
let's jump into it, because this is the first time I had watched this movie in full.
I read this book in 8th grade.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it was like kind of formative to me in the sense that it was like a pretty intense, you know, subject matter, but also like as, you know, a forming 8th grader brain, you're like understanding that you can like have reverence or respect for something, but like maybe also not like it at the same time, or like recognizing that something is good, but maybe that you have like complicated feelings about it.
Yes.
Personally, you know, it's like starting to understand that about literature as you know, start reading more complex things, I guess. So, but I had read 8th grade was the big SSR year, which is sustained silent reading, which is what you get in public school, where after lunch you just get like 20 minutes to read a book so that the teachers can like do their desk work and shit. And you know, you have to read a book, and if you don't, you're a bitch ass. And you know, you couldn't do your homework either. Some kids would like try to do their homework, and you're like, no, you can't do your homework.
No, you have
to read a book.
You have to at least stare at a page and pretend to read.
But I was on my Stephen King kick, and I had read Carrie, and then I was like, let me take a pivot and let me read The Green Mile. And then I was sort of like, I don't know about this. And then I took a step back from Stephen King for a while after that.
That makes sense. Yeah, Carrie seems like a really formative one for a young woman, especially in the 8th grade, to read. And I think that it feels more appropriate than, of course, The Green Mile. I think sustained silent reading was a place where you kind of just end up reading fucked up shit, because I remember reading A Child Called It during SSRI. And that is it sustained silent reading? Yeah, SSR. Not SSRI.
Oh my God. My SSRI for the day is the 20 minutes of book reading I get to do when I make myself read 100 pages of a book to like knock myself. What I'll do is I'll lock all of the social media apps on my phone. Smart. And I say, you are not allowed to look at this until you read until chapter 3 of a real fucking book. Touch grass, touch a page.
I mean, that's good that you do that and then you make yourself.
SSRI.
In today's day and age, yeah, they're taking away our pills left and right. We're gonna be at the loony farm just making ourselves read to stay.
Reading, yeah. Book club at the Loony Bin.
Wait,
where
book
we're
club
gonna
at the, what is it, Briar
Hill Mental Facility.
Oh my god.
We can all curb stomp Officer Percy together after we finish reading A Court of Thorns and Roses.
I would love
as a
nothing
group.
more. I would love nothing more. Yeah, where do you really start with this movie though? Because again, so you had the background. I had only ever seen probably bits and pieces of this movie on cable. I mean, it's one of those movies. It's fucking 3.5 hours long. So you slap that shit on cable.
It's a shade over 3. A shade over 3. 3.5 minus. It's like 3:03.
3:03. Sorry, 3 hours long. Pardon me. And you do feel every minute of it. But I had seen bits and pieces. I had definitely seen just about that 30 minutes where there's focused on Dell's execution, basically.
The botched execution.
Where, that
Stephen
whole
King was in his mind palace and he was like, okay, we need to cook up a new one. Let's just work backwards from, and he like spin the wheel. Botched execution. How do we get there? And then like work backwards, honestly. And I mean, it was research. Wetting the sponge. This is fucking perfect. He's just not gonna wet the sponge. Who's the guy who doesn't wet the sponge? Villainous.
Yeah, easy. This is a piece of cake. He churned this out 2 days. But
he wrote this in 96, I think, and it's a movie in 99. So this is the Stephen King trend of like he cranks out a book and immediately they're on a movie deal. And this book in particular, actually, so if we want a little bit of lore, this book came out in 6 installments, a month at a time.
Oh my god!
Because he knew like his fans were the type of people who will like skip to the end.
Sure.
And he was like, this is a good one, and I don't want y'all skipping to the end.
I like that.
So over a 6-month period, time of a year, they were like little novellas, and it was, the 6 parts of The Green Mile. And then of course now it's just sold as one, fatty 500-page book.
Yeah, no. Oh my god, he really edged them.
Yeah. He's like, wait, this one's gonna be good. He's gonna explode flies out of his mouth, and that's evil.
I was gonna say, having read the book, I would love to hear a little bit about where the discrepancies are from script to screen.
So it was quite a while ago. Like I said, I was in 8th grade when I read it, and I have not revisited the text since, but I have seen the movie a handful of times. Like you said, it's a cable classic. It's directed by Frank Darabont, who also did The Shawshank Redemption and The Mist, which is another Stephen King one.
Yeah, it's right there, obviously.
And to me, The Green Mile is very much like the part 2 or like the compendium to Shawshank.
Absolutely.
Like they were just both like free on-demand movies running on cable all the time that you can kind of jump into
whenever
at any point. Really, if you know the story and then just watch to the end, right? You're like, oh, it's 3 hours, but like I only caught the last 90 minutes of it, or a random chunk of 90 minutes in the middle, and you still like get something out of it.
It's playing the entire time that your mom vacuums the whole house,
Yeah, real. Except that is kind of like terrible to think like, oh, let me just toss on The Green Mile. Let me just put on The Green Mile while I do my chores. But like, I don't know, that is kind of a vibe. Sometimes you do just need the calming presence of Tom Hanks.
Exactly. Which he is very Forrest Gump as well. He's got the cable classics.
Yeah, so Forrest Gump, so this ties in, as we know, because Lieutenant Dan pops up for like a fucking cameo, basically.
No, I would say
what had happened was Frank Darabont was directing The Shawshank Redemption, and he wanted Tom Hanks to play Andy Dufresne.
Of course.
And then there was discussion about it, and then Tom Hanks was like, I'm so sorry, I gotta go do this movie, Forrest Gump. And they were like, okay, understood. And then, he makes Shawshank. They reconnect later and are like, hey, let's try to make this work. And then that's where The Green Mile kind of starts happening. But it seems to be this like you know, we're referencing Forrest Gump on like a fourth wall breaking level by just bringing Lieutenant Dan in, which is it's
a
very
wink and a
like
nod.
90s. It's 90s like Hollywood. Like the stars are really carrying this film kind of energy, which I'm like, do we need to be doing that here?
Which this is very much a fun movie to play your game and clock some niche actors. There's a good handful in that come up. Lieutenant Dan, there was that one prisoner from the beginning who was a Twilight guy. He was in New Moon.
Yeah, the first execution. This movie is about death row. It's death row prisoners, and Tom Hanks is the prison guard with a heart of gold? ? Like he's like all these prison guards.
Back when you could just do this just to get a paycheck.
Right. It's 1935 in Louisiana, and Tom Hanks, along with another pretty tight-knit crew of prison guards who are all like fairly respectful to the prisoners. I think because it's like a death row situation, they're like, okay, this is pretty somber. As long as everyone like stays chill and doesn't make a fuss, like we're going to be generally chill to you.
Exactly.
Except for Officer Percy, who's coming in and like being abusive because he's just a little shitty Nepo baby. But that's some context for Tom Hanks's character. Like you were asking about the difference between the book and the movie. I don't remember too much of the book, but I do remember a lot of the characters feeling more conflicted, or like not being purely good or bad, but more like Tom Hanks's character in the book was more just like a guy trying to do what he thinks is best. But whereas Tom Hanks is always like comes off as just this like moral beacon of rightness.
Yeah, it's God. That's God.
Right. So I feel like this one is very much more like all the characters were very black and white. Like John Coffey is good.
Percy
Paul
is
Edgecombe is good. Percy is bad. Wild Bill is bad. Like the good and evil forces in the world, and you know the transference of good and evil forces through magical
bees through
powers.
Your mouth.
Bees, bees in his mouth. There's some bees in his mouth.
No, can we talk about who? What is that actor's name that played John Coffey though? Because
Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace. He's really iconic. He was in Armageddon. He's been in a lot of stuff actually, but he was in Armageddon with Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis recommended him to be in this movie because I read somewhere that the other two people that they were considering were Ving Rhames and Shaquille O'Neal.
Shocker! Oh my god, could you imagine?
Which I'm like, is that real? I'm like, is that true? But apparently Bruce Willis was like, I know the guy who's going to be perfect for this. And it just sort of all worked itself out. That he really was he's like the emotional center of this movie very much. And he delivers a really
beautiful performance
and a emotional performance. But it is kind of one note. And obviously the character of John Coffey is like something to be discussed. Like the movie has an element of addressing race, right? Because they're in the South, but then it doesn't, because then we just get put in this isolated environment, and there are certain instances of racism, and the umbrella of it being a thing to consider is there, but it's not
very
actually
contained.
dealt with.
No, it's exceptionally contained.
The whole movie is told from the perspective of
108-year-old Tom Hanks.
Old ass Tom Hanks to his new girlfriend at the retirement home. He's like, you'll never believe what happened to me. And it's like him retelling this story with like sort of a sheen of fondness and nostalgia for it, where it's like what was happening was actually so severely fucked up, but it like is all through this white guy's lens who was like, and I really got something out of it because now I'm gonna live forever.
I don't know. I don't know if you can say that, because it's his whole thing. He's like, well, I've watched everyone I love die. I am paying the price for murdering one of God's angels, because that's sort of the whole lens that this is told through. Obviously, it's Stephen King. There's this supernatural element. John Coffey can essentially bring people back from the dead, heal ailments, X, Y, and Z. He
takes the bad and he expels it from his mouth, and all the flies come out. And Stephen King always uses uses flies to be like death very much because it's like
Yeah,
obviously
well,
like
it's the
things and
Yeah.
symbolism. But the bees out of the mouth is very jarring. If it's your first time watching The Green Mile, it's sort of like, oh, and we're really taking a turn here by having him expel bees out of his mouth. Like to just touch and heal would be one thing, but it's like the bugs. It is.
Yeah,
it's a choice.
We watched this with a friend of the pod, Alyssa, my sister, and she came in and I told her she didn't really know anything about this movie. She's not a Stephen King girl by any means. She was reading The Click back in the day when you were reading Stephen King. So.
The Click, oh my god,
Classic.
That's bringing me back.
Shout out to The Click, dude. Oh my god. But she had I gave her the forewarning. I was like, it's Stephen King, it's gonna be a little fucked up,
heavy,
yeah. And so she read some of the Wikipedia basically, and I mean, yeah, when you zoom out and read, well, he heals his urinary tract infection by grabbing his dick and then barfing up flies. You know, it does come off a little corny. But in practice, obviously, this movie was fantastic.
And honestly, I feel like moments about like that, like starting off with Tom Hanks's UTI, that he's like groaning and grunting and pissing in the yard, and like just he is on a bender of he keeps calling it a bladder infection or what did he say? A urinary infection or whatever. I'm like, call it what it is, babes. That's a UTI.
I'll tell you what, I was immediately impressed because this is not the first time we are introduced to Tom Hanks in a disgusting piss-filled way.
Yeah, you clocked this.
That man is on screen pissing and groaning. I mean, at least twice. I haven't seen a good chunk of his movies, but I was sitting there and we come in hot with Tom Hanks pissing razor blades, essentially.
Yeah, he's complaining about the piss. He's doing wide loads of hot piss. Always.
Loads of hot piss. Yeah.
Wait, but you were referencing A League of Their Own, where he comes in and does a 90-minute piss.
90-minute piss. It was just one of those things. It's like, well, what is it? What's that fucking Phineas and Ferb quote? That's like, well, like I'd have to. What is it? If I had a nickel for every time that Tom Hanks showed up on my screen, pissing in earnest,
doing wide loads of hot piss, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird to happen twice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, how many times as an actor does it get old? Like as a woman, I can imagine having to do a birth scene, like especially if you're a period actor, you know what I mean? Like at a certain point, you just get like, I'm sure you're just really good at it because you're like, okay, I just gotta scream my head off and everything like that. Tom Hanks, pro pisser.
Yeah, and he's like sweaty because this movie's everyone's always sweaty because they're in Louisiana, but you know he's extra sweaty because his UTI is fucking him up.
Oh yeah. No, we settle on this is a 3-hour movie, and the topic of the UTI is the at the forefront of the first hour. Yes,
the first third. Yeah,
first third. Yeah,
the first
absolutely.
Act
Yeah, the first act is about piss. Second act is probably what is it? We get real heavy. I'd say probably like Del.
Execution.
Del is maybe
doing executions.
The second act, yeah.
And then we're doing
the
healing
miracles.
magic.
Yeah, the miracles is
and
the third
prison
act.
break for healing magic. Yeah. But Tom Hanks is in charge of death row, and we get basically the stories and executions of all the prisoners going through in this one particular time in his life. And John Coffey was caught with 2 young girls out in a field, and they were dead and had blood on them, and he was holding them, and he's crying and screaming. And of course, everyone in the town runs up, and then you're basically just forced to draw your own conclusion that since all the townspeople saw him with these 2 dead girls, that they all were just like, okay, obviously he's the only Black person in this entire movie.
Yeah.
So like, okay. And then basically then it cuts to him being in prison on death row for this crime, which we then learn through magical touch memory sense transfers that he did not do, and that he does have these godlike powers where he can heal, and that he was trying to help the girls and take their pain away. He keeps saying, I tried to help it. I tried to take it back, which is sounding like an admission of guilt.
Yes, I tried to take it back, but it was too late.
It was too late. Yeah, I tried to help. I tried to take it back or whatever. But he is like fully absolved. We do like learn that he did not do the crime, and then Tom Hanks learns this, and then because he also learns about these healing powers, because he's like, hey, come here, I can feel through my magic sense that you have a UTI, and he grabs Tom Hanks's dick, and then Tom Hanks is like, holy shit, that's crazy, I have to go home and fuck my wife. And then he does, and Bonnie Hunt is like Bonnie Hunt is like, okay, what is going on here? And I have to say, I do remember in the book, it is described of him being like literally in his wife when he's like, this guy cured my UTI, or like literally explaining, and him being like, I feel so bad, like, and like getting emotional and telling her like the story of John Coffey, like mid-coitus. Yeah, crazy. What's her name? Jan.
God.
Jan. Bonnie Hunt is Jan. She kind of served in this movie.
Absolutely, she served. No,
she was so horned up. She was like, he dicked me down, and now we have to do a prison break so he can heal my friend. So basically, the warden of the prison's wife has brain cancer, or like full body,
the size of a lemon in her skull.
Yeah, end of life type shit.
Yeah.
And it's getting very bad very fast. She also, I remember the part about her swearing.
Sure.
Was like really bad. Like she says some heinous shit. Like Stephen King is using that as an outlet to just say some heinous shit. As this woman whose brain like is degrading. They kept it pretty mild in the movie. But like, oh, she's swearing a lot and she's not like herself anymore because of this brain tumor. And he's, as the husband, he's really struggling with that. So basically Tom Hanks is like, we have to break John Coffey out of prison so he can go heal the warden's wife. Which never in this are they ever like, and then we'll ask to get him released. And then we will challenge the system and get this magical man free from the situation. And then it's like, and then we had to execute him. Tom Hanks was like, and I feel really shitty about it. And John Coffey's like, understand, it's the way it is. And the whole thing is under the guise of like, it's 1935 Louisiana. There is nothing they could have said or done to make people believe. But I'm like, but you could have just had him heal a bunch of people's ailments.
Right, that's the thing. At no point in this movie, besides to his wife, does Tom Hanks try and explain what is going on. Because of course, like there's this whole big scene with the mouse. All the other prison guards see the mouse come back to life after the poor thing's been stomped. So obviously they're all privy to it. But you go and you watch him bring John Coffey to the warden's wife, just unloading this giant man. And essentially all they do is just go, shh, 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 shh. Don't worry about it. Hey, bud. Hey, don't worry about it. Hey, we're going to hold you here. Put the gun down. We're just going to go show him up to your dying wife. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Hey, what are you freaking out about? Don't worry about it. And that's the whole scene. And then he goes and sucks her cancer up, obviously. But I'm like, you couldn't even try to just be like, hey, bud, this guy's a miracle from God. Just roll with me here.
Real quick, he cured a bunch of our shit. We saw him bring a mouse back to life. We thought he could maybe help your wife.
Hard as a rock.
I haven't gone down since, actually. It's been kind of an issue.
But yeah, there's literally no attempt to make any sort of plea for this man's life, of course. Even though because that's the whole thing is I at least, having never seen this, I thought the warden was not going to buy it and everyone was going to get in trouble, because that's the whole thing. It's really high stakes. You're obviously bringing an unchained, man from death row to the warden's ill wife's house. You think they're all going to get, lose their jobs, get put into prison on their own and everything like that. But it's just, I'm like, it really is amazing. I'm like, the way that it's like, well, we did the one thing we got to do.
Yeah, no, for real. And the treatment of John Coffey's character, like the treatment of like the writers, like how the writers treat him in like their expression of him, but then also just like the treatment from other characters is very like falls into the the trope of like noble savage or magical Negro, where he's like the one black character who's there to service the white narrative, and and that's it. And then we solved our problem, and now he just is now a victim of the system. We're not ever going to consider that. And the part in writing him that sort of gives me pause and gave me pause as an 8th grader, which is why I was kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this. It's like I always had the issue with that the way that they make him gentle is by making him slow, and that the only way that he could have been trustworthy or that they weren't going to be afraid of him was that he had to be dumb, and that his intelligence was, and character-wise, he has a bunch of scars on him. You can sort of deduce that maybe he was in a slave situation, or, it's the 30s in America, so shit is obviously not great. But that it seems like short of memory in the book as well. Like, he can't really even remember the day before. He just knows what he knows, and he performs these miracles for these white people. And that's what he's there to do. And that is just not very creative to me. Like, that's just not an interesting thing. Like, I don't know, that we just could have done something better there, I think.
Which I can't.
To me, it was just like very much a convenience for the white writers here to be like,
of course.
And he's big and dumb. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that Stephen King is known for his diversity in the slightest. So of course this is no shocker. But yeah,
like,
it is really a shame.
And then also it happens in the South, because this wouldn't have been in Maine.
Yeah, he's like, I literally for the life of me can't put this in Maine, so I guess we have to do it in Louisiana.
But that being said, I do think Michael Clark Duncan like really carries the performance with a lot of integrity and depth.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I still think The Green Mile is a piece of media worth watching. I think it's like also important to contextualize it. It's 1999 when this comes out, and written in the 90s as well. Yeah, maybe the treatment of characters of color, or the character, literally one character of color, it's like leaves a lot to be desired, especially when it seems to be like the crux of the whole film is that he was falsely accused because, timing, place, but also of, the race element of it all. Just kind of, I don't know, seems kind of cheap. I also always hate the old to young narrator. I think that is some of the hackiest shit you can do to establish your narrator in a story. Like, and then let me reflect on a time in my life, and it's all from me telling you the story. And then cut back to Tom Hanks. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, having it always strikes me very like The Notebook. I know so many stories and films have done that before, but like that's always the one that I'm like, oh, so we're doing The Notebook.
And when they asked John Coffey what kind of ice cream he wanted with his pie for his last meal, they said chocolate or vanilla. And he said, can I actually just get a key to the back door so I can please leave? My mom is here to do chocolate or vanilla, an interim podcast segment where she just says two things and we all say which one we like better. And if I were John Coffey, I would have liked it a lot better if Tom Hanks had like thrown me a bone and like helped me get out of jail. But whatever, that's just me. Jen, hi, how are you today? And is there a theme this week? Is it like execution theme? Is it like something incredibly depressing?
So there is a theme of Stephen King movies versus Paul Thomas Anderson movies.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So Stephen King adaptations versus Paul. So I just made my PTA ranking. I had a conversation with a coworker that led me to, I was like, I should do one of those because I have a Christopher Nolan ranking on my Letterboxd. So I was like, I should do my PTA one because I've come around that I've seen more than half of them. I still have a few stragglers that I haven't seen, like Punch Drunk Love and some of the more fringe PTA. But we've all seen One Battle After Another. Right, we talked about it at the top of the episode.
Yes. Did you put it at the top of your rankings?
Oh, no, it was like in the middle.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your number one?
It was like Boogie Nights, for sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe There Will Be Blood. Boogie Nights and There Will Be Blood are really tough. One and two. It honestly, any given day could change. Maybe.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah. The more I think about one battle after another, the more I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to see it again for
A
sure.
good movie will do that.
I think a rewatch is in order for sure. Yeah.
And I've been a lot of the like reading reviews and a lot of like points of view that I hadn't considered, and you know, stuff I missed and stuff. It's like, the more I read other people's opinions of it, the more I'm like, oh, I should go see it again because I didn't really view it that way.
Yeah, I do think I want to see it again while it's in theaters.
I saw it in IMAX. I don't know if either of you saw it in IMAX.
I did not. I wish I did.
It was really fucking sick.
Yeah. And now for some reason I'm getting early psyched for the Oscars. So did you guys talk about how Green Mile was nominated but lost to American Beauty in 2000?
No, I did not know.
Yeah, I saw. We didn't talk about it, but it was nominated for 4 Oscars. Notably, not a lot of Stephen King movies ever even get nominated.
Yeah.
Like, there's been very few, and they only Kathy Bates has ever won on behalf of a Stephen King production. So this movie, I think it was like sound, screenplay, picture, and Michael Clark Duncan.
Supporting
and
actor.
he lost to Tom Cruise, who's in Magnolia, which is a Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Okay.
Which I would agree with that assessment. I think if you look at the lineup that year, it was like Haley Joel Osment. It was like a really mixed bag, but I agree that it should have gone to Tom Cruise.
So here we go. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Cujo or Boogie Nights?
Boogie Nights. Absolutely. I've never seen Cujo, and I don't really know, like Scary Dog. Is there anything beyond, like, what's the story of Cujo? Is it just like a really aggressive dog, right?
Possessed scary dog.
Possessed, haunted dog.
I'm more scared of Dirk Diggler, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for Boogie.
Wait, it's like that whole thing, like, would you rather be trapped in a room with like a man or a bear? It's like Cujo or Mark
Dirk
Wahlberg.
Diggler.
Or Mark Wahlberg. Like, I'm picking Cujo.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast that Burt Reynolds clocked PTA in the face, like he punched him on the set of this movie.
Yeah, because
he
PTA was
tried
like
to tell him what to
26.
do, maybe. Yeah,
he was 26 years old, and he was definitely not, in the industry. So I don't think he was speaking to people the way they expect to be spoken to in Hollywood. And a lot of people didn't like that. They were like, "Why do you think you can talk to me like that?" And he's like, "We're making a movie."
I'm sure Burt Reynolds especially.
Yeah. Next one is Dreamcatcher or There Will Be Blood.
I also have not seen Dreamcatcher. Is that the one that was filmed in Massachusetts?
Yes. It was filmed at Quabbin Reservoir, and it has Timothy Olyphant in it, who I always like. But I honestly don't think I've seen the whole thing.
And this movie has a bit of a Timothy Olyphant Deadwood connection because the actress who also plays Katniss's mom in the Hunger Games, she makes a very brief appearance as the mother of the 2 daughters who get murked. And I clocked that. Everyone's like, wow, you really got that. But I'm like, I don't know her from Hunger Games as much as I know her from Deadwood. Yeah. And we have Wild Bill, who goes off about Wild Bill Hickok, which is also a thing from Deadwood. So some early 2000s prestige television knowledge really coming to the forefront of my cerebral cortex today. But yeah, I've never seen Dreamcatcher, so I'll definitely go with There Will Be Blood. That's like one of the all-time greats, I think.
I don't think even if I did see Dreamcatcher that it's going to stack up to There Will Be Blood, so I'll go There Will Be Blood as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dreamcatcher because of Quabbin and Timothy.
Fair enough.
Next one is Firestarter or Phantom Thread.
I haven't seen Firestarter, but I know Baby Drew Barrymore is in it. And it's also like, that's one I feel like I should watch in order to round out my canon of like Stephen King movies about like the, Shining and Powers.
Yeah.
It's like Firestarter leads to Carrie, leads to The Shining. Like, I feel like we could order them in like a progression of understanding the powers. And I honestly feel like The Green Mile might be at the very end. Like, that's like the last one. It's like,
the final iteration.
and then here. Or maybe Dark Tower at the end to be like, and then it goes all the way to the top to Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
that's a very disappointing finale.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'd go Firestarter on this one. Yeah, I haven't seen Phantom Thread. I'm not particularly interested. I just know that I should.
That's one I've wanted to revisit because we really didn't care for it. We saw it for our Oscar quest.
Sure.
I don't think I really would have seen it otherwise. And I remember not really caring for it, but also maybe feeling like I didn't really get it. Like whatever was trying to be said, I think maybe like went over my head or I was just like, it was just not resonating with me. I remember being like vaguely confused and being like, I don't really think I understood the point of that. So that's one that like maybe I'll revisit it and like maybe something will lock into place.
Sure.
For me, people love it. I see people put that really up high on their rankings all the time.
Oh yeah,
and I don't get it. There's a couple really beautiful shots. Don't get me wrong. When they're at that New Year's party and all the confetti and the balloons falls,
yes,
it's just like he's a very talented filmmaker. Just that story, I was kind of like, I'm not really following.
Yeah, it doesn't interest me, but I will say, I am more interested in sort of this through line of the powers in Stephen King's series. So I'll go Firestarter on this.
Yeah, I'll go Firestarter also. I think they remade Firestarter too.
I think they recently, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Next one is It or Licorice Pizza.
Well, I'll pick It for sure. I actually recently just discovered that the original quote unquote, the It from the 90s with Tim Curry in it isn't a movie. It's a 2-episode TV series.
Yeah, we did
that
not.
can be watched as like a 4-hour movie if you want, but it was released as a 2-episode TV series, which I never had known that. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But I have never watched it. I only watched the remake that came out with the Skarsgård and all the fucking Stranger Things kids. And those were coming out when I was like starting college. The It movies. And I felt like I had outgrown it. It was like I was like, I don't think this is for I don't know, me. Yeah. And then they do the second one where they're adults, and I'm like, who fucking cares?
It was, we were a little past its prime, I think, or past the prime age for it. It was very, 16-year-old girl.
But I hated Licorice Pizza. That is at the bottom of my PTA rankings. Not in a Phantom Thread way where I'm like, I don't think I understand this. I'm like, I understand this and I don't agree with it. And I'm like, and I wish I hadn't seen it. Like, I just did not care for that movie. So I will pick, I will maybe in my life go back and watch the Tim Curry TV series maybe someday when I'm feeling wild, but I will never revisit Licorice Pizza. I'm all set on that. Sorry, Cooper Hoffman. I'm looking forward to watching The Long Walk once it comes out on streaming.
He does better with the King stuff. I'm gonna go It as well. I never saw Licorice Pizza. It wasn't anything that really interested me at the time. I would still say that holds true. It was fun. I think it was fun. But yeah, and I would probably rewatch the new ones as well. But I am interested to watch the Tim Curry one, Queen of October. So
nice. I'm gonna go with Licorice Pizza, even though I didn't like it. It is way too scary for me,
and that's fair.
Yeah.
Do you have a thing with clowns? I never really got people who don't like clowns. It's like,
doesn't everybody like scary clowns are not fun?
Nah, I was really into the scary clown plotline in American Horror Story.
Yeah. What was that?
Twisty. Twisty the clown.
No, thank
I'll tell you what,
that really got me.
Wait, speaking of Twisty, Percy in this was very much giving Dandy to me from Freak Show. That felt really cut from the same cloth.
It's like the voice.
I agree.
It's like the lisp and the voice.
Yeah. Also the queer undertones.
Well, yes, and like the sociopathic energy.
Yes. Yeah.
Next one is Long Walk or One Battle After Another, the two new ones.
I haven't seen The Long Walk, but I would like to. But there's also a lot of now. It's like I felt like I was in a dry spell where nothing was out in the theaters, and I wanted to go to the movies. So I'm like, there's nothing. And now I'm like, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to see everything.
Soon.
Oh, right. And then it's
Frankenstein.
like, is that the Maggie Gyllenhaal one?
No, that's The Bride. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Oh, right. Well, yes, of course. Yeah, see, it's all coming up way too fast. But yeah, I'll have to pick one battle after another because I saw it and I enjoyed it, and I am looking forward to maybe seeing it again, or I think it'll get nominated for an Oscar. So I think
Absolutely.
for Best Picture. So I think I'll probably rewatch it again before the Oscars so I can have a well-rounded view of the candidates.
I also haven't seen The Long Walk yet. I've heard it's fantastic. I'm very excited to see it, but yeah, I think it will still be hard pressed to beat one battle after another again. So I'll go one battle just because it was a blast to watch.
Yeah, same. I'm going to go with one battle. I do want to see Long Walk also. I think one battle is going to get many nominations.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah. I want to see Long Walk for the Jojo Rabbit kid.
He's in it? I didn't know he
Yeah.
was
I
in
didn't
it.
know he's in it. Wait.
They got all sorts of child,
Oh, yeah.
They
teen
got
boy
all
actors for
boys,
this
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Next one is Pet Cemetery or The Master, which is from 2012. Joaquin Phoenix, Philip Seymour
Yeah.
Hoffman.
Actually just recently watched The Master because I was trying to round out my PTA resume before the new one came out, and I was like, should I watch Punch Drunk Love or should I watch The Master? And I chose The Master, and I'm like, maybe I should watch Punch Drunk Love. But it does really, if you're a Philip Seymour Hoffman fan, it's like it is a masterclass of him just like chewing up the scenery. He plays this like cult leader, this like Scientology type cult leader, and Joaquin Phoenix is this guy who like drinks like a house cleaner, he like makes like bootleg liquor with like house cleaners.
Sure.
And the Scientology guy is like so into it. He's like, they're like huffing paint together basically. And it's 3+ hours long, and it's Joaquin Phoenix who like really annoys me, but it did give me a bit of insight into what I think they were trying to go for with the Joker, like what they were trying to capture with his like unhinged and kind of like laughing at himself Joker performance. I think could be traced back to
this.
his performance in The Master of like
Interesting.
he's kind of doing the same thing a little bit.
Okay.
I enjoyed it, but I'm like, I'll never watch it again, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to someone.
Sure.
Like there are way more PTA movies that I would definitely tell somebody to watch before this one. But specifically, if you're wanting a Philip Seymour Hoffman moment, even then, I would probably recommend other movies to you. But this one was a good performance from him.
I'm gonna choose it for that reason, just because I mean you can't not have a good time with Philip Seymour Hoffman. And what was my other option? Pet Cemetery? Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't really feel
never
any
seen
crazy
it,
need
but
to.
Henry does an impression of the guy from Pet Cemetery where he just like talks in a Maine accent and says "dead is better" or whatever the line from the movie is. I don't know, but he's shown me the clip and then he does it. It's really convincing. So I might have him on while you're away next week, Emily, because you're going to be at a Chicago wedding. I might have Henry just do his Pet Cemetery impression for an hour.
Please.
That could be nice.
I will go with The Master because I love an ensemble cast, but I haven't seen either of these either.
Oh, Amy Adams is in that movie too, and that actually is one that I wish we had done
you did say
for
this.
A May Adams, because I'm like, if she were ever to have, people say she's snubbed all the time, but I'm like, for what? It could have been for this. I don't know what she would have theoretically have been up against that year. I don't think she was even nominated, but if there were ever a performance of hers to
would have been that.
commend, this one was very good.
Interesting.
She held her own. It's like against Joaquin Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman, who are both doing the absolute fucking most.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was impressed with her. Yeah.
Okay, Amy.
Next one is Salem's Lot or Magnolia.
Again, haven't seen Salem's Lot, but Magnolia is one that I am really up on, and I don't know if that's controversial or whatever, because I feel like more people would put it a little lower on their film Twitter. I'm gonna say, film Twitter would put it lower on their list, but I would put it on the upper half of my personal list. I like Magnolia, and it's the only time I've ever been impressed by Tom Cruise, maybe other than Interview with the Vampire. Interview with the Vampire and Magnolia are the only 2 times Tom Cruise has gotten me, or that I've gotten him, per se.
I'm gonna go Magnolia on this one just for the sheer ratings on Letterboxd.
There's
what was
also
my
that's an
other option, too?
amazing Philip Seymour Hoffman performance. That there's all performances all around in that movie, and the needle drops too. If you're a PSH or PTA head, that movie is just like it's good stuff. It's really long, but I would recommend if it's like raining or something outside. If it's like a bit gloomy and you like have a long
Magnolia's a movie.
afternoon or something, watch Magnolia.
Okay. Got it.
Or like if you're like having feelings that you want to like ignore, or like stress that you're like, I gotta think about something else, put this movie on. It sucks you into this like very dramatic, tense scenario.
You picked Magnolia, yeah,
Yeah.
I will too, because it's based off the music of Amy Mann from Till Tuesday. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Who
she was
even
very
is
big
that?
in the
I don't even
80s.
know who that is. What is Till
Voices
Tuesday?
Carrie. Last one is Shawshank or Inherent Vice.
I haven't seen Inherent Vice. That one and Punch Drunk Love are like my outstanding PTA watches. So I'll have to report back. But I'll have to pick Shawshank because that is one of the great Stephen King adaptations. And even though it's like, it is kind of corny and like, it's like saying The Godfather is the best movie ever. It's like, okay, yeah, well, like, everyone freaking knows that.
Yeah.
It's like everyone likes The Shawshank Redemption. Shut up.
I think I'm gonna have to side with Dara on this one for the exact same reasons. I also haven't seen Inherent Vice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Shawshank also. The Inherent Vice, though, the ensemble cast is crazy. Again,
I do know
Joaquin,
that.
Maya Rudolph, Benicio del Toro, Owen Wilson, Josh Brolin, Jenna Malone.
Well,
and
did you
more.
know that Paul Thomas Anderson is married to Maya Rudolph?
I did. That's why I was like, oh, I'm so excited. She was in one of his movies.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. It's again those last 2 that I'll have completed my list. My Christopher Nolan list. I think I also have 2 left. I think I have like Tenet and maybe, I don't know, some melodrama from the 90s.
I'm sure.
That is it though for Stephen King versus PTA.
Thank you, Jen.
Love that. Thank you
Yeah.
as always. And we love you, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, I love you guys. Have an awesome night.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know. I will say the only thing that I enjoyed from that was that we got the cool looking old mouse at the end. Let's take a beat here and talk about the mouse acting.
Mouse. Mr.
Exceptional.
Jingles.
Exceptional
Mr.
mouse
Jingles.
acting here.
Mr. Jingles is as important in the book as he was in the movie.
Thank
Like, a
God.
lot of criticism of the movie, I think, at the time was people being like, why so much focus on this fucking mouse?
Because
Like,
it's important.
no, this is really, Frank Darabont specifically does really faithful Stephen King book to movie adaptations. Like, that's his fucking shit. That's what he's good at. This is pretty much beat for beat exactly like the book for the most part. Like, he really fucking nails it.
No wonder it's
And it's
gas.
also it's a production company of Rob Reiner, Castle Rock Entertainment is it called? Castle Rock Productions, that they did Stand By Me that we just talked about last week. And Rob Reiner is, of course, of the Stephen King sort of, a faithful adaptation of a more drama type work. Seems to be this kind of pocket that we're in. But what was I saying?
Yeah, I am really loving that. We're sort of obviously we're going into October. We're going to do some more of the spooky Stephen King stuff, but I have really enjoyed the fact that we've talked a lot about these ones where, as opposed to like, I don't know, I haven't seen Pet Sematary, but I'm assuming Pet Sematary doesn't really tie in as well with this narrative of like, oh, all the people and all the kids with like The Shining or these mythical powers. I feel like that's sort of been the run we've been on. For the last
that
month
is
or
true.
so.
We are connecting some dots too, for sure, about the powers. And honestly,
Well, especially
I feel
after
like
the Dark Tower, I'm enjoying seeing it all connect, I guess, because I get sort of the bigger picture, even if it was a bad bigger picture from the Dark Tower.
And it's interesting how John Coffey's version of like Shining is like this weird empathetic kind of thing, because usually we only see it in terms of like mind reading a little bit and like
there's
like
not really
sensing.
a physical manifestation.
But he seems to be like the peak, you know, strongest version of Shining or of that kind of power, where it's not just he's hearing their thoughts, but he's like feeling their feelings and can wholly sense them and
can push
cure
them
them
to-
as well, and then can cure them and put and expel their disease and, you know, whatever through his mouth. Like that's crazy. Imagine.
With probably the least understanding of it, because I think a lot of what we've seen, except for like, I don't know, probably Carrie. Carrie obviously doesn't have a whole lot of understanding about her own powers, but like in The Shining and of course The Dark Tower and Dr. Sleep, of course, there's a conversation about it, and there's others that know other people that have sort of this gift or whatever. But yeah, John Coffey is a real standalone. Same with Carrie.
And then the whole story is like how everyone around them is sort of affected by, you know, this weird, like magical sense or whatever. Oh, the mouse, though. Wait, we were talking about the mouse, Mr. Jingles, and the mouse acting. So Mr. Jingles, was really important in the book. And it was all about Dell and the mouse and that whole part. Because that was where it got more, like, the characters got a bit more dimensional and conflicted, because it was about them, like, lying to him, right, about Mouseville. And, like, we're going to take care of the mouse. But it's like, oh, the governor's coming to see the mouse so we can practice for your execution.
It's really fucking grim.
It's like Tom Hanks is feeling guilty about that, and then, you know, that guilt then turns into guilt, like I'm killing John Coffey, and so the guilt that starts to weigh on him about these executions is what then he stops. He says that John Coffey's the last man he executes, and then he he quits the job and does other stuff. But in the movie, it's like Dell comes off as like very likable. We sort of sympathize with him.
Yeah, we don't get the backstory, and that's like a big thing. You get no backstory for Dell.
He like is a rapist murderer. Like there is a reason he's on death row, and we don't really get that in the movie as much, where it is more complicated, and it is like about a person reflecting on like, I did something and I do truly regret it, but you cannot deny that you did do it, you know? And there's a part of you that will always, you know, you'll carry that with you to the chair.
Absolutely.
Sort of. And the dealing of his character was brought out more conflicting emotions, and we see sort of different layers to Paul Edgecombe's character, rather than just him being this like beacon of always right and good. And then we get this supremely evil Sam Rockwell comes in as Wild Bill, and he's just like hooting and hollering and causing chaos.
Yeah, no, that must have been, I'm sure that was a real a fun character for him to play, but oh my god, yeah, he did a fantastic job just coming off as supremely evil. Sam Rockwell does play a hick like no other. I do have to give him that.
Yeah, the tattoos and the teeth and just like the posture and the voice. Yeah, he just freaking nails it. And he's introduced as this wonderful sort of mirror to Percy's character, who was sort of our main antagonist. He's the guard who is abusing all of the inmates, and he crushes the mouse. So the mouse gets crushed. The mouse knows circus tricks and is basically the star of the freaking show. And everyone's like, this mouse is so chill. Like, wait,
oh my
we
god,
see a mouse, but
dude, the fact
give him
that
some crackers, give him a little snack. Wait, we love the mouse.
30 minutes before we started recording this, I'm hanging out on my couch, getting set up and everything like that. Mouse in my house. I've never get mice in my house.
Mr. Jingles,
literally just
he sensed.
It literally
yes, The Shining. He sensed you.
Came up, hung out for exactly a minute. I moved, and then he ran back into the wall, sort of thing. So yeah.
Wait, that was straight at Mr. Jingles. Did he whisper his name in your ear?
Oh, I wish. But
Percy stomps the mouse, and it's devastating.
It is a horrific scene.
It's hard to watch. You had the sound design of like the crunch, and then they give them out. John Coffey's like, "Give me that mouse," and they revive the mouse, and then basically all of the guards are like, this is gonna be so hilarious that we all have to just agree to just move on from what just happened, because then Percy comes back and the mouse is alive and he fucking has a conniption.
Of course,
and
yes.
they're all basically like, this is so worth dunking on our shitty coworker that we're not going to talk about the literal miracle magic that just happened in front of us.
It's not even worth it for a discussion.
Which is hilarious. That's such like a man thing. Like,
I love it.
Okay, and we're just gonna move on. We're just not gonna talk about that. Not until several weeks later at Tom Hanks's house for dinner, and he's like, "Are we gonna talk about it? Hey, you guys, my wife says we have to talk about it.
Can we address the mouse in the room, guys, please?"
Bonnie Hunt won't shut up about how good the sex was to all of Tom Hanks's coworkers. They're like, "We believe you. We believe you."
She hasn't stopped coming for weeks, guys. Okay, we gotta have a discussion. And speaking of, I think this is the perfect time to say that we need to have a discussion about Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah. So as you were departing my house, you were like, okay, what is Tom Hanks' sexiest role? Was that the question you posed to me?
Well, okay.
And
so,
immediately everyone in the room recoiled. We were just like, ew, like, do not put the
everyone
Tom
called
Hanks
me a
and
dyke
sexy
to my face.
in the same sentence. Like, that is not what
But
is happening
I think,
here.
Of course, there are objectively roles that are sexier versus less sexy for any working actor. So I needed to know where he falls, and mainly for myself, because obviously Tom Hanks has like a body of work, but I want input as well. So I've come up with a tier list.
Yes. What is this great website that you made this
called
on?
like tierlist.com. I don't know.
Tier Maker. This isn't an ad. I've never seen. I've seen people do these like on YouTube and stuff, but I always just figured they like grabbed their own PNG. It's nice that there's like a workable website where you just grab and drop things. That's very fun.
Okay.
We'll both
Can you see
post
this?
our completed. Yes, we'll post our completed tiers
Tier list,
on our
yes.
Instagram. I'll verbally confirm to that.
So I do have. Here's my giant list of things that I haven't seen. I also threw Cars in there because I don't know who he plays, like a Woody referential car. He doesn't, I don't even think, have any lines or something. So
That doesn't count.
Exactly, does not count. But these are all the ones that I have not seen. So there's a good chunk. But I'm gonna start. I don't know. I'll start bottom to top. So. Firstly,
which I think some key ones to note in your haven't seen section. I think Saving Private Ryan, I also haven't seen that one, but I could see how that would be in discussion as far as sexy because
Absolutely.
war or because leadership
yes.
question mark. I don't know.
Yes, I did want to put that one. Yeah, Philadelphia, that also, I don't know if I would have been able to rate it even if I did see it.
Right.
What else have we got? Bridge of Spies.
Oh, him as Mr. Rogers. That's kind of that is doing something.
I was gonna say, well, you have to tell me. Yeah, we're gonna pull. You'll have to tell me what from this that you have seen, and I need your input here as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, we've got the classic. Yeah, Saving Private Ryan. Haven't seen Big.
Big. It feels unethical.
To
include
Post.
Even. Yeah. I didn't care for The Post. I also didn't really care for Bridge of Spies. Actually, I don't really care for a lot of Tom Hanks movies. My husband Hank made a good point that Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg really kind of like vibrate at the same frequency of like too earnest. Like it's just too like a Jesus-y good that
yes
it's just not compelling to me.
Yeah, well, because even this movie, it feels like while it obviously has a sad ending, it like generally everything kind of ends just fine because they ended on the note
fine
of,
for
like,
Tom Hanks.
It's fine for Tom Hanks, so who gives a shit? You know,
I mean, I guess he's cursed to maybe live forever. Who's to say? But
yeah, whatever. But anyways, okay. So starting in our F tier, these are what I would call absolutely unfuckable for obvious reasons. His character from Elvis. I did not see Elvis. But I think I know enough.
Yeah, definitely. Elvis is a no for me. But Forrest Gump. It's kind of sexy.
Well, it's it is the conundrum. It is the conundrum of it's that tweet that says, "Are we going to talk about the ethics of Taylor Swift dating someone with severe CTE?" You know, ethically.
Are we like calling Jenny into question here? I think Forrest Gump was consenting.
You think Forrest was consensual?
For the most part.
Okay, we can bump Forrest up a little bit. That was morally. I don't know. Maybe I'd be based if I rated Forrest.
It's a gray area.
It is a gray area.
You think he's unfuckable in A League of Their Own?
Do you know how disgusting and drunk and sweaty and gross he comes in? Do you remember?
Yeah,
Stumbling.
but I feel like
You're getting
it compelling.
No, you're getting chronic syphilis from that man. I think.
I don't know. I would maybe take him for a spin.
I think that's fine. I think he does turn it around sort of by the end of the movie. He gets his act together. But yeah, too grimy for me, especially when he's stacked up against Madonna and Rosie and, oh my God, Gina Davis. Come on.
Oh, Gina Davis.
Bottom of the
Yeah,
barrel.
that is so true. So true. Yeah, I'm not thinking about Tom Hanks when I'm watching A League of Their Own, that's for sure.
Exactly. But in my D tier, I've got the Da Vinci Code. The Da Vinci Code,
haven't
Angels
seen
and
that one.
Demons, and Toy Story 3. Because it's just, while it's not disgusting and while it's not like, revolting, it is entirely sexless. And I like the Da Vinci Code. I like Angels and Demons. These are some of my favorite Tom Hanks movies. They're fun. It's a romp, but it's not doing anything for me. Same with Toy Story 3. I think that is, talking about growing up. There's nothing sexy there.
I was going to say, I'm curious as to why Toy Story 3 is in D tier, but perhaps other Toy Story movies are higher up on the list.
Yes, they are.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think there's nothing sexy about the whole... Toy Story 3 is the one with the evil bear, right? Or am I getting this mixed up?
Yeah, that one was pretty... that one was pretty dry.
Yeah, dry, sexless. Moving on to C tier. Is there something here? Okay. It's not totally stale. There's something.
How many shots? It's like six shots.
Exactly.
As they say, as the kids who club say.
Yeah. I think Tom Hanks is at his sexiest when he's not trying to be sexy, and I think that he is less sexy as he gives it a go. So that is why Sleepless in Seattle, I do think, falls into this one. Meg Ryan is doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. But I digress.
Can't say I've seen it.
It's fine. Saving Mr. Banks, it's fine. But the mustache does a little bit of something for me. That Thing You Do, it's okay. Yeah. He's got some fresh suits. I like it. Catch Me If You Can. I don't know. Where do you feel about Catch Me If You Can? This one's a little gray for me.
Yeah, it is like he is kind of more giving like dad in that one for sure. It is tough because Tom Hanks sort of orbits in the like dad slash like brother space, as a character. It's always feeling very like more familiar than it is like sexy. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is like pretty tough, but yeah, I guess sex me if you can. Catch me if you can. I guess I agree. As it's like it is not entirely a no, but it's not doing anything.
Toy Story, I think there is some sexual tension between Woody and Buzz, obviously. There's some homoeroticism between wanting to be the favorite. Yeah. So there's something there. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Actually, I was questioning your separation of the Toy Stories, but I think I understand it fully now. Yeah.
Which makes sense as to why Toy Story 2 is in B tier.
Right.
I mean, yeah, Jessie comes in, shakes things up. Okay? It's a whole other story now. I think she's
Sarah McLachlan is here singing a sad song. Yeah.
But at the same time, I've got Captain Phillips and Sully in B tier. I think Tom Hanks has gotten sexier with age, depending on how he's styled. But
agree.
I think that him in a crisis, I like that. I like a what is it, a port in a storm, and that's what he's giving in Captain Phillips and certainly in Sully. Go watch that. What is it? There's a good clip on YouTube. I watched a couple of clips before this to get prepared. And there's a good clip where
To get horned up
he's
about
like
Tom
to
Hanks.
get horned up about Tom Hanks and to plead my case. But there's a good clip where he's in Sully where he's like, "Can we get serious now? Okay? You dumb fucks don't know what I did. You guys are making a mockery out of the miracle that I just performed. Let's get serious." And there's something there, guys. I don't know. I know I keep saying that, but Tom Hanks has got something there. But
Yeah, I
Captain
still
Phillips,
can't say
same
I agree
thing.
with you on that. But I was attracted to Nathan Fielder when he dressed up as Sully Sullenberger so that he could recreate the flight and listen to Evanescence in the new season of The Rehearsal.
and that's fair.
If you haven't watched, it's pretty fire. But I have not seen Sully or Captain Phillips, so I can't speak on those. I
Yeah,
guess I'm
Captain
pretty
Phillips
shy
definitely-
in the way of the Tom Hanks canon.
Captain Phillips is definitely a little more dad coded, but I think Sully's got a little pizzazz. But speaking of
I can
pizzazz,
see
we're
it.
getting into the Wes Anderson of it all. In his older
Right,
years,
right.
this man
And
has
here's
started
where
to
I
dip his
could
toes
see-
in. Yeah, Asteroid
I
City.
agree with you.
Yes. Okay. I really like that. I like that. Castaway, of course. I think at his most feral. Truly.
Yeah.
He was pretty feral in this one, of course. There's a whole scene about him piping his wife 4 times in one night after his dick got fixed. So,
Yeah, it is. We usually don't ever see Tom Hanks in like in a sexy way. So even in this movie, the insistence upon the clearing of the UTI being expressed through fucking the missus was kind of funny
They
to
said,
see
"Hey,
because it is sort of like,
hey."
ew. It's like, ew, those are my parents. Don't show me that.
this guy right here, Tom Hanks, sexual panther.
Pipes. Canonically pipes his wife.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we don't. And I think for that reason alone, because I would question why the Green Mile A tier, but really we don't get that even innuendo about
This
him
is probably-
often ever. And so
Yeah.
explicitly being a sexual creature is rare. So I think we must
Exactly.
reward it.
Also, he's just sweaty. There's a lot of talk about his dick and his balls in this movie, you know? So
Right.
it's a whole thing. Under some real stress. This is a younger Hanks than I'm probably used to
Would typically
saying.
go for.
Than I would typically go for, but I think A Man on a Mission, I can get behind it. Another one that features Lieutenant Dan. I forget his actor's name, but they've got a good amount
Lieutenant
of crossover in their
Dan.
careers. And then of course, I cannot stress how much these are the best for last. I've got The Phoenician Scheme and The Polar Express are my S tier.
Oh, you sent me this, and the only thing I did was immediately move Polar Express to S tier, and then I was like, I don't know what
Yeah.
else to do. So
Exactly.
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that front. Something about that chunky animation really
Chunky
gets
animation.
me going.
It's the fact that he did just about all of the mocap. He
yeah,
voiced
and
just
he
about
voices
every character.
like
He
9 characters. It's crazy.
He did like all of the mocap basically for the entire thing. He's getting jiggy with it here. You know, you can tell this man had the time of his life in that booth singing Hot Chocolate, and you know he pipes. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you except for that train conductor is throwing it down once he gets to the
Yeah.
North Pole. Yeah, Mrs.
So
Claus
real.
on the side.
So real. And wait, I have a question. So your other
Please.
A tier one is the Phoenician Scheme,
Yes.
which just came out this year.
Yeah.
So for those who maybe don't know, Tom Hanks's character is like side by side always with Bryan Cranston, and the two of them are like,
Absolutely.
are they brothers or just business partners or something? But they're
Lovers.
They
even.
are. They are like one entity, and I'm like, for me, that is a package deal situation.
Absolutely.
Are we
Ideally.
including? Does Bryan Cranston get to come if we're talking
Even
about
if
the
he's
Phoenician
just in the
Scheme
cuck
here?
chair, I think yes.
Yeah. 'Cause
Ideally,
I feel
he's an involved party, but you know, I would go for him just being there as well.
and talking about Tom Hanks aging well. He looked great.
Fantastic. But yeah,
That was wonderful. I'll independently fill out my own, and we'll post the pictures. And I'll
Thank you.
also, I think if you're on Spotify, I can add this as people can watch. Maybe, I don't know. So we'll see if
might
I can
as
figure
well.
out how to do that.
considering that we're already kind of here, should we
Right,
get into
we're
our
already talking about
regularly
fucking
scheduled
Tom
programming?
Hanks.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I feel fuck, marry, kill. Do you want to just do, like fuck, marry, kill?
The guards.
Yeah, out of like all the guards, because I feel like it's like in a situation where it's like if Percy's there, he's dying.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of characters where it's like if they're there, Sam Rockwell, if he's in there, he's dying.
How about let's go Tom Hanks, Brutal, and what's the other one's name? What's his name?
The young blonde one.
The young blonde. Dean.
He was giving me, if anyone knows Mad Men, he was giving me Kenneth Cosgrove, and then Percy was obviously giving me Pete Campbell.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, let's go Dean, Brutal, and Tom Hanks.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I'm gonna... They said Brutal was single, so maybe I'm not gonna ruin any marriages. And he seemed kind and gentle for the most
Absolutely.
part. I didn't, again,
A big boy with a heart of gold.
Preferably, like, not in getting myself involved with cops.
Of course.
In any sense or scenario. But considering we're, like, having to choose here, I did just, like, his was a character that I was like, he could have been more neutral or erring on the side of, like neutral or rude to the prisoners, but he also, like, spoke to them with kindness. I was just like, this is sort of breaking it for me. It's so unrealistic that so many of these guards would have been like
chilling.
actually so considerate of these people that I think it's more just like used to really highlight how nasty Percy was. But I was like, the guard named Brutal is also like a big guy with a heart of gold. Like, come on, do we really need to be doing that again? But I guess it kind of worked. I don't know. So I'll marry him. I'll fuck the blonde guy and I'll kill Tom Hanks.
I think I have to agree with you here. Dean was really doing a little bit for me, but maybe that's just because I'm coming off of last month I watched The Deer Hunter, and he kind of had that gaunt face the same way that, oh God, what's his name?
Christopher
Walken did. And that does something for me.
He did have very sharp features. He did have a very nice nose.
Yeah. So I'm definitely riding that man into the sunset. And then I think you're right. I think Brutal and I will have a really pleasant life. I feel like he could really make me a nice steak dinner as well.
Yeah,
And
let's
Tom
hope
Hanks
he's... Yeah. And then of the whole movie, I feel like I want to fuck the lady with cancer, but after the cancer is cured, and she was
stunning.
glowing, like she was so fabulous. Like immediately gonna get on that. I'm gonna marry Mr. Jingles. Can I do that? And we're gonna go to Mouseville, and he's gonna perform in the Mouse Circus.
Of course. I don't know about Mary, but I think you could get custody of him.
Adopt. No, who else would I marry? I would definitely also marry Jan. She seems like a wonderful wife. She seems like a great time.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jan seems like a real one too. Like she doubled down for her man.
Out of everyone in this movie who's like most marriage material, it's definitely Jan. So
Listen,
I'm gonna go for Jan.
She's gonna hear you out no matter what. She said, "Yeah, I saw it. His dick was fixed."
Yeah, like she
stand by him.
Ride or die, Jan. And then, out of everyone, who can I kill? Like, this is like, okay, judgment time, right? Like, if we're judging crimes here, where do we, I guess it just has to be Wild Bill, right?
Wild Bill,
If we're stacking the numbers.
As bad as Percy is, I don't think he has done nearly as horrific
killed anyone. Yeah.
Exactly. I do
that we know of.
Yeah,
but he seems like the whole thing is that he's kind of a pussy. He pisses himself.
He probably killed a cat as a kid, kind of thing. Sociopathic tendencies for sure. I'm gonna agree with you that Wild Bill is the one to kill, though. I will say, though, I do not agree with the death penalty. No.
I guess people could have inferred that. Yeah, people could have inferred that about me before then. But just
either way,
we play fuck, marry, kill every week, but I don't actually want anyone to die. Okay,
Exactly.
This is a figurative kill.
Yeah.
A spiritual
this
kill.
podcast is against the death penalty. Thank you very much.
I Googled, it's 27 states still have it. That's so many.
Insane.
I thought it was gonna be like 13.
No.
I was like,
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll marry Jan as well because she is, a real one. And then I'm gonna fuck.
Well, maybe I'll fuck the old lady listening to the story in the
give her one
higher
good
level
go.
of the narrative. Yeah, right before we
Just
see
right
her
before
in
she
her
dies.
coffin.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with fucking Dean. Yeah.
Oh wait, you know who I want to fuck? Also, I just keep adding fucks. I'm like fuck, marry, kill. Is Harry Dean Stanton was in this movie. He played what they call him, Toot. He was the prisoner who was washing the floors, and
Oh
he
my
gives
God,
Sam
yes.
Rockwell the moon pie.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
just like got Harry Dean Stanton to like be in 3 scenes. It was so good.
Classic.
Sam Rockwell exploding a moon pie out of his cheeks. That shit kind of sent me.
A little bit.
Kind of sent Tom Hanks too. He said, "I've never seen that one before."
And
he said, "Wait, that was kind of creative."
Hey, yeah, he did give it a go. But what are you? Okay, food and drink. Are you serving moon pies or what are you doing?
So it's pretty like atrocious to be hosting a Green Mile function, but that is what I low key did last night.
did
I was
do
like,
that.
watch party, Green Mile watch party.
We all had sushi.
And I feel like doing the concept of like a last meal potluck is kind of depressing because just the concept of a last meal on the whole is very sad. But, you know, to consider what would you want your last meal to be if you could pick, and then everyone brings, you know, that. But that is also kind of difficult because I think mine would probably be like Eggs Benedict, like a big breakfast situation.
Oh my God, I also went
with-
breakfast. Okay.
I want like coffee, juice, and like a fat plate of hash browns and an Eggs Benedict and like maybe a pancake on the side, like a big breakfast type beat shit. And then, okay, what would you want your last meal to be? And then what you get to watch one movie because they let John Coffey watch his one Fred Astaire movie. So you get to watch a movie, or maybe like if you pick Kill Bill, you're allowed to watch both of them. You know, if you pick Lord of the Rings, you're allowed to watch all 3 of them. You know, that kind of thing. You can kind of cheat the system.
Yeah, I would probably, okay. Last meal, I might go like a baked potato. Like a loaded baked potato. I don't know. There's other things, but that is what's speaking to me right now.
Just that? Not like a steak
there's gonna be
with a
other
baked
things.
potato on the
There's
side?
gonna be other things.
Or like,
I would say probably, I would do like a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, like a baked potato on the side, like fully loaded.
what to drink?
What to drink? Lemonade, like a sparkling lemonade. Probably love a lemonade. A limeade actually would be
Okay.
ideal.
You want bubbles in your drink?
Obviously.
Gonna call you a slur.
And then dessert. I don't know. What would my dessert be? That's a hard one. I really liked, you made some really sexy, like cookie bars last night.
Millionaire
that
shortbreads.
I was kind of going crazy on those.
Hollywood says my millionaire shortbreads have a crumbly, what does he always say? It's
no
a
idea.
soggy bottom.
Soggy bottom.
Hollywood said I have a soggy bottom. No, Henry made these a long time ago and they were really good and they're called millionaire shortbreads. And so I had to bring something to a function. I was like, Henry, how did you make those good things? He was like, just watch this YouTube video. And so I successfully made, it's just like a Twix bar. It's like a cookie,
really
like a
good.
shortbread cookie, and then
But you can
caramel
actually
and then
taste like
chocolate.
you can actually like taste the butter and the cookie and everything like that. So
Right, well, there is a fuck ton of butter in those.
exactly, it was really good. Something along those
for-
lines. My mom used to make these things called scotcheroos that kind of also sat on that level.
Yes.
Those were really good. Maybe those as well.
Fucked with a scotcheroo.
Those were really good. What about what's your last meal?
Dessert. Well, so I would just want breakfast. I want a big fatty
Big fat
breakfast.
breakfast. Yes.
And I would
okay.
rather, like, I will forego dessert to get more things with my breakfast. Like, I'll skip dessert, but I get French toast too. You know,
Sure,
like,
sure.
like we're expanding upon the theme of breakfast.
Yeah. I was gonna say what I would serve if I was having people over. I did say, I riffed a little bit on the movie, but
He wants meatloaf, okra, potatoes and cornbread.
Cornbread. Yep.
Is what he wants, and then he wants literally in the most I was like, don't piss me off when they were like, is there anything else you want? And I'm like, yeah, fucking freedom, bitch. Is there anything else you want? Anything else you want? Tom Hanks is like, we want to give you and they're all sitting there so self-righteous and patting themselves on the back while he watches the movie, and it's this glorious scene where it's like the film projecting lights, around him, and he's reveling in this thing right before he dies, and all the guards are like patting themselves on the back like, oh, we really let him have this experience right at the end, didn't we? Oh, it's such a bummer we have to put him down tomorrow. Like, oh my god,
it's literally like,
what do you want? I want you to dig me a tunnel and Shawshank me out of here,
yeah,
bitch.
Please. But I like I agree. Breakfast felt right for this one. One of my favorite breakfast places. It's down in Connecticut. They would do a bacon, egg, and cheese on like a cornbread sort of biscuit with a it was like a sriracha maple syrup on it as well, and it was so good.
Did that have structural integrity when you picked it up to eat it, or did it just sort of become like
it was like a cornbready sort of like it was almost like scone-y. So it was definitely like a harder texture.
That sounds fire.
It was really good. But I'm also gonna say that you have a Coke espresso. Have you seen those drinks lately?
No.
People will do like a shot of espresso in their Coke, and it's pretty solid, especially if you do like a cherry Coke, honestly. Not for everyone, of course, but I think there's this good scene where they drug Wild Bill with a Coke.
Right.
So I think if you're keeping it...
Yeah, I'm drugging my Coke by adding more caffeine.
Yeah, exactly. But that feels like a good one. I would say if you want it sort of more on the meatloaf side, go for a sausage, egg, and cheese instead of bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah, it's what I'm going to feed John Coffey once I fucking break his ass out of this prison.
Yeah, truly,
How
please.
hard can it be?
14 bacon, egg, and cheeses.
Okay, and then what are you going to follow this up with? You're doing a Green Mile. You've just slogged through the Green Mile, and then what are you going to follow it up with?
I haven't come up with a good answer. I do want to just say Shawshank because it's right there. I think I think it's one of those things. They're both 3-hour movies. You have to give your day to it if you want. I think, I think you go start Green Mile and then you go Shawshank is probably the most sensible.
Because at least I think Shawshank's a little more uplifting.
Absolutely.
And definitely, I feel like we'd feel like the Green Mile does feel very claustrophobic. I feel like even we're still within the prison system, it's like we're breaking out of death row and into Gen Pop.
Yes,
and then
yes,
we watch.
yes.
Yeah, then we watch Shawshank. I vibe with that.
Yeah.
To me,
What about you?
one of the best things about this movie is that John Coffey offers to take care of Mr. Jingles the Mouse while Dell is gonna hit the electric chair.
You better not say.
Botched electrocution, and I don't know what you think I'm about to say.
Okay, come on,
but
give me it.
he takes it and he puts it in his hands and he holds the mouse so very nicely. And then when Dell is getting his botched electrocution, because John Coffey is such an empath, he like vibrates with the frequency of getting electrocuted. And he's like, "Ugh," and he's like, I could feel it. And then later he's like, Mr. Jingles could feel it too. And Mr. Jingles then becomes this old, everlasting...
The old mouse, yeah.
The old mouse. And I feel like you have to assume that in between when the Green Mile is happening and when he's the old mouse later, there's an interlude where he becomes Stuart Little. And I think we enter. You know I was gonna say Stuart Little.
That's why I thought you started it off with saying, well, someone said he would take care of this mouse. And I was like, this bitch is going
Gina
the Stuart
Davis.
Little. This bitch is going the Stuart Little route.
And Gina Davis is gonna take care of this mouse and raise it like it's her son. And she did. And that mouse knows what it's like to be in the electric chair, okay? Stuart Little holds that pain with him.
That's for sure. I think that's an excellent choice, especially if you want a hard pivot from the Green Mile.
Yeah, when you need a bit of reprieve from the Green Mile, consider Stuart Little.
Not a bad idea. Not at all.
Then, out of 10, I'm gonna give this movie a 7, but a lot of that is like nostalgia and contextualizing, and just that I've like seen it a lot, and it's a piece of work that I admire, but I feel like I have complicated feelings about it. But I do think it is such a good catalyst to like have conversations about why it's a flawed piece of media.
Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely.
So I think that also has merit.
Yeah. Of course. I'm going to hit it with a 6. I do not think 3 hours, while I think it was necessary for a faithful adaptation, it was a bit much for me.
See, I think it was earned. I thought those 3 hours were earned.
It was excellent. I don't think they could have done it without it. It is just still one of those, it was too much for me. But yeah, it was great. It was a good movie, obviously.
And I feel like it's something that in today's day and age would have absolutely just been turned into a miniseries. Like, just
for sure.
That format of television just wasn't really a thing. Like, that medium just wasn't really popping off back
having
then.
her heyday now.
I feel like there are a lot of 3+ hour movies that were like made in the 90s or early 2000s that just could have probably been TV shows, but we just like didn't have the tools for that really yet. So I feel like this is like maybe one of those, but it's still movie that we talked about this week for Stephen King month, and we're going to continue talking about Stephen King stuff for the rest of October, but then who's to say where we'll go in the swamp. So let us know what you think and what you want us to talk about and what movies you think are going to be up for Oscars, award season coming around. What have you been seeing in the theaters that you loved or hated? Let us know. What are you going to be for Halloween?
Please
let me know that as well. And have a lovely rest of your day. Goodbye, good night.